What's up, y'all? Look, I'm making this video for a reason. When you find, let me tell you something. All this came from the so-called white man. Because see, you have to understand, Esau sits up late at night and they plotting ways to take our people out. You know what I'm saying? And also, I noticed that men, so-called black men, don't stay on the phone that long like that. We'll do what we gotta do, and we get the fuck off that motherfucker. It's just a knowing, and when I hear certain voices and stuff like that, and you be like, in your mind, you be wanting to like shit, like you are trained by your slave master, Esau, the damn devil, the white man, and when you listening to him, especially if they look at the news and they don't miss one episode of the news. Now you have a few more, the more of so-called white people, they gonna support the news because that's their culture. That's their culture because in the news ain't nothing but killing, political stuff. That's their culture. You see what I'm saying? There is nothing that I don't like about watching about the so-called white man. There is nothing on this planet that I don't have no interest for no damn news because it ain't doing, what has that done for our people? What have that gotten our people out of the conditions that they're in? No, that stuff like that has not gotten our people out of the conditions that they are in. It hasn't. It ain't did nothing for you. It ain't did nothing for me. It ain't did nothing for none of our children. It ain't did nothing for none of our people and our children in our community. So why would you sit up there and you support some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you? Everybody's sending money over into Ukraine and all that kind of stuff. First of all, do they care about our problem? Just like brother Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about. No, they don't. Them people don't care nothing about us. They didn't care nothing about your suffering. And everybody, it's like our people trying to compromise with the world. Esau. Why do everybody want to add everybody in here when God clearly tells you in the Bible that he people say it's not about race, right? That's what they say, right? We gonna see. We gonna let's go to Genesis chapter 11. The Bible says, I tell you what, let's look at Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. And the sons of Japheth, Gomar, Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomar and Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz will be the Israeli and fake Jews. And Raphath, and Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodam. By these were the island of the Gentiles divided in their lands. See that? The Gentile was by these were the islands of the Gentiles divided. People say God didn't come to divide. He didn't come to separate. And they say it's not about race. Look at this. Let's read this one more time. Reiterate the reading. Genesis 10 and verse 5. By these were the islands of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. In their nations. That means when you say nations, there are different nations in the Bible. You clearly reading it when it says Ham, and the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Pot, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Sabala, and Havilah, and Sapta, and Ramath, and Saptika, and the sons of Ramath, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. This man, Nimrod, was a mighty influencer when it came to counterfeit and being in Christianity. That's what that's talking about. He was a mighty, he was deceiving people with the fake image and Christmas and all these type of things. All these things, things was influenced in Christianity. That's why it says Nimrod, he was a mighty one before the Lord. That means he was a great deceiver when it came to pushing that doctrine of Christianity across the Christian churches in the world. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Babel, that means Babylon, which is another word, divide. It signifies confusion. The word Babel, that means confusion. And Erech, and Arakat, and Carnel, and the land of Shinar. Out of verse 11, out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah, and Risa, between Nineveh and Calah, and Calah. The same is a great city. And Mizraim begot Aludam, and Anam, and Labium, and Natarim, and Pat Rasam, and Caslam, out of whom came Philistim, and Catharim, and Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites, and the Girgashites, and the Hivites, and the Archites, and the Sinite. These are Gentiles. These are not God's chosen people. And the Arvites, and verse 18 of Genesis chapter 10, verse 18, and the Arvites, and the Zemarites, and the Hamatites, after whom were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad, and the border of the Canaanites from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Solomon and Gomorrah, and Admath, and Zebum, even unto Lashan. Verse 20. It says, these are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, in their nations, after their tongues, in their nations. Now let's verse 21. And unto Shem also, the father of all of the children of Eber. Shem is a Hebrew name. See that this and unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, and the Eldar, even to him were children born. Verse 22. The children of Shem, Elam, Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lod, and Aram, and the sons, and the children Aram, Uz, and Har, and Gesher, and Mash. Verse 24. And Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. Eber is a Hebrew name. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Joktan. See that? So let's go and let's get some more further light. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter. Wait a minute. Should I go to let's go back to Genesis right quick. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go back to Genesis 11. Let's go to Genesis chapter 11. All right. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1. The Bible said, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name. That's where that name Christianity come from. Let's create, let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Scattered abroad. See, when they started to build that big tower to heaven, that symbolizes that they wanted to try to exalt themselves above God. They wanted to let us make a tower whose top may reach to heaven. That means they want to try to take and build something that's not built upon the foundation of God. It said, and they said, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, and thus they begin to do. And nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Now watch verse 7. Go to, let us go down and there confound their languages, that they may not understand. See that? One another's speech. So the Lord, now watch this here. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from hence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. See that? Verse 8, I read it again. So the Lord scattered them abroad from hence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. He said, the Lord scattered them abroad from hence upon the face of all the earth. So he confused the languages, and he did. Let's go to Exodus chapter 32 and verse 8. Exodus chapter 32 and verse 8. The Bible says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bonds of the people according to the numbers of the children of Israel. That's plain and simple right there. So when people go around, let's go to the Matthew's chapter 25 and 32 now. Matthew's 25 and 32. Matthew's 25 and 32. Matthew 25 and 32. The Bible says, and before him shall be gathered all nations. That's talking about all the children of Israel. And from another, let's read it again. And behold, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them. See that? And he shall separate them one from another, as a sheep divideth his shepherds from the goats. It says, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from the other. The Bible says he gonna separate. So when people go around and they say that we are all the same and God gonna come and bring us all together and all that kind of stuff, I don't that when they say that, that's totally contrary to the Most High's God's laws. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, since I don't want to fall asleep and mess this video up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end it right here, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little bit more on this topic tomorrow. And I got some other books. Well, I'm gonna talk about that on my other channel.